Well, good evening. It is Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead, and I wanted to talk to you about something very important. In fact, something that has been affecting so many people and has happened to me 5 times this year. I'm embarrassed to say that actually, 5 times. So, what it is that someone has been able to get a hold of enough information to get onto my credit cards and begin charging things. So each time I did the same thing that probably lots of you would do. And I must say that the way I found out each time was the credit card companies, I have 3 of them, they called me and began the fraud department and asking me if I had made certain purchases. And these were purchases that may not have been in this country, or they were in areas that are nowhere near where I live, like Florida or Georgia. Have gnats. Or buying things that I just don't buy. And so it was real easy to know which were my purchases and which were not my purchases. I'm so grateful for the fraud departments catching those things. And they were able to stop payment on all of them and do an investigation. Then I get so I'm not charged for it. So very, very thankful. Although I will say also a little bit creeped out that I'm that transparent and they have enough information on me to see the patterns. But again, I'm going to emphasize the thankfulness. So the final time that this happened was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm going to put on my glasses because I want to read part of it. And I know you'll get a reflection. I'm sorry. So I was in bed. It was not yet 8 o'clock in the morning. And I got a call. I looked on my caller ID and I saw that it was from a bank that issues out a credit card to me. So I answered it and they said they were from the fraud department and that they wanted to verify some purchases. And I said, it is not 8 o'clock in the morning yet. And they said, yes, but someone has tried to put on $10,000 worth of charges. So we felt like it would be more important to go ahead and call you this early. That should have been a red flag, probably. So I began talking to them. And as I'm talking to them and they're asking me about some things, these were like airline tickets and things that I've not done. I'm telling them, nope, I didn't do that. Nope, I didn't do that. And they said, it appears that someone has been able to hack onto your phone, and we believe they have all the information on your phone. That was real scary to me. We all keep a lot of information on our phones. So they said, we would like to be able to share the screen on your phone. Second red flag. And I said, I am not comfortable with that. And that was because I let somebody do that one time before that was lying to me. And I said, I will just go ahead and call the credit card company myself. And the guy goes, you can if you want, but you don't have to. All you have to do is Google this telephone number and it'll show you where it's from. So I went ahead and I Googled the telephone number they called me from. And sure enough, it came up as if it was a bank like I said, that issues one of my credit cards in, I believe it was Tennessee. All looked legit. I mean, it was on Google. So I said, okay, I'll let you do it, but I'm pretty uncomfortable. And they said, oh, well, we completely understand. There are so many people out there that are committing fraud. So they were on talking to me for quite a little while, asking a lot of questions. And I kept getting more and more uncomfortable. And I said, you know what? I just want to end this conversation, and I'm going to call the bank. And I hung up. I should have done that in the first place, but I didn't. So by that time, my son had heard me, and he said, Mom, they've already got all of your information. They've already copied it. And I thought maybe that's true. So a couple days later, I got a message from one of the credit card places for me to give them a call. So I called them, and the number on the back of my card, and they connected me with the fraud, and somebody had tried to put $2,000 on a charge twice, and then on another credit card, they tried to put 1,000 and then like 1,500. So I did what I did with all the times. You know, I tell them which charges are mine or not, because they're specific, they ask. And as soon as I say, I did not make that charge, that one's not for me, then they say, okay, we're going to cancel this credit card so that they can't charge anymore, and we will issue you out a new card. You'll get it usually between 7 and 10 days. So at that point, I just felt like the dumbest person in the world. And I put on my Facebook account asking for people to pray because I'd had this happen again. And I began to get some very good advice. I mean, I got some strange things like, what do you mean they got your information? You know, that type of silly thing. But I got some good information from two friends. One is just really wise in it appears all things computer related, and another one that I went to school with who worked at a bank for 40 years, and a lot of those years was in the fraud department. And they said, you need to contact the credit reporting agencies. Now, those are the ones you can get a free credit check from. So it was the middle of the night when I was trying to do this. So I was online. I'm not the best at that. And so I contacted the three. They are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And I couldn't see how to put a lock on my credit, which is what I'd been told I needed to do that night. So I just went ahead and I requested from each one of them my credit report. And the next morning, got back on, and I was able to talk to somebody. And I asked them to please lock my credit, that I had been hacked again. So if that happens to you, first, don't talk to anybody that calls you, no matter what they're saying to you. I mean, like, I was just waking up and the last time, and they're like, someone's tried to take 10,000, you know, and I'm disoriented from just waking up. So I definitely wasn't thinking as clearly as I should have. But they could be so smooth and so convincing. I personally want to believe people. There are other people that say don't trust anybody. That's really burdensome to me. But this is what you do if someone calls you, hang up. Don't talk to them. Don't give them any information. Don't say goodbye. Just hang up. And then you call the number on the back of your credit card. Or debit card, whichever it is. Because then you know where that call's really coming from. I would have never guessed that somehow on Google, fraudulent people could put up as if they were a bank, complete with a picture of it and all the basic type of information, made it look so real. So call your own bank, talk to the fraud department, see what's going on there. And then, of course, if you've had fraud, get everything canceled. And believe me, they're going to want to cancel it because they don't want to lose money. Cancel them and wait for your new cards. And I know that is extra work because if you're like me, I have some things that go out automatically each month. And I use my credit card so I can get air miles or whatever on my basic bills. And now I have to contact those places and say, here's my new number, credit card number. I get all that changed. That is extra work, but it's okay. And then the next thing is to call the credit reporting agencies. And you have to call or get online if you're good at that. All three of them. I'm going to read the names again. It's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Get a hold of them and ask them to lock up your credit. I mean, maybe you're trying to buy a house right now, and so you're needing that, then that wouldn't work out very well. But if you're not doing any of those things, like I'm not doing it, I'm not buying a new car, I'm not buying a new place, there shouldn't be anything that's coming out as a new thing for me beyond the credit that I already have. Lock it up. You can always have it opened back up again. Contact them and have it opened back up. That will prevent people from being able to open anything in your name, including buying homes or just anything, a car. You don't want any of that, and neither do I. Well, I know it's been kind of long, but it's really an important issue, and it seems like there are so many places out there right now. I have so many friends that have been getting these scam calls or seeing them on different areas like Facebook. I know that I've tried to purchase a couple things. I've purchased about 4 things just off Facebook. And 2 of them I never got. And one of them, they didn't send me at all what they claimed it was going to be. So you have to watch that. Now, I don't mind doing Facebook Marketplace, but it's better to go to areas that you know are really reputable. Most of my shopping's done through Amazon or some through eBay if I'm shopping online. And I know that there are other places. I do Velour, which is where I get my tools. So there are reputable places, but do know there are places that are not. I hope this is helpful again, and I hope that this doesn't happen to you. It's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house, out of your house, in the day and night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming. Okay, good night and God bless you. Be careful out there.